Hello, everyone. It's Bart Swan with Certainty Home Loans. As you can see, it's still my birthday here in the office with streamers and all of that. Um, I've been wanting to record a video on whether we're in a housing bubble or not, that kind of thing. And today, my friend Chris Kerr shared something on Facebook from Dave Ramsey on whether or not there's a housing bubble. And I thought, wow, how timely is that? So, what I want to do here is listen to it and then provide a little of my insights on this. So let's go ahead and listen to what Dave Ramsey says.
Um, as far as future predictions, will the market go down later? Should we sell our house, go live with him, and then buy later? What are your thoughts on that?
I do not think this is a bubble,
Okay.
and that would be the only way it would go down. I think
You don't-
I think
go
the
ahead, I'm sorry.
craziness will slow, and the rate of increase in prices will slow, but I don't think this is a false bubble that's going to course correct, and the house prices in Pensacola, Florida are going to go down dramatically anytime in the next decade.
All right. So I agree with Dave Ramsey. By the way, that caller was from Mike in Pensacola. So one of you realtor agents needs to go find Mike in Pensacola because he wants to sell and buy another house, apparently. So let me, Dave goes on to talk about why that he doesn't think it's going to go down, but he never really provides a lot of context as to why. If you want to watch it yourself, go find Chris Kerr and look for that video that he shared. But I want to provide some insights that I see as to why I think Dave Ramsey is right on this. Let's see what we've got. First of all, I should shrink myself here. This is housing starts, and I would love to get these numbers from someone. If anybody knows how to access these numbers for our local area, that would be fantastic to have. But these are housing starts that you can see going back to 2000, prior to 2011. And you can see the effect of COVID here and what it had during the second quarter of 2020. We were, basically fell off a cliff in housing starts. And this is going to be something that is felt in nationwide, and I believe this is reflective of what happened in our neighborhood as well. This is going to be something that affects us for a long, long time to come. You see, as long as housing starts are strong, we're able to provide new inventory continually. But when that stops, people didn't stop having babies. People didn't stop growing up and moving out of their parents' home. People still needed to buy houses. There maybe was some pent-up demand growing, but that demand is now released, as we can certainly see. So this is going to be one of the reasons I believe we're not going to see a drop in prices, because we just have such an inventory shortage caused by the lack of building that went on in 2020. Let's look at this other chart here. This is housing vacancy rates, and you can see back in 2007 and 8 we had a lot of vacancy already going into it, in 2006 even, relative to where we are now. But it just kept climbing, and when you have vacant houses, there's a lot of supply. I mean, you go back to, I think, as Dave Ramsey called it, seventh grade economics class, and we learned that supply and demand, how that works. As long as you have a lot of supply and you have decreased demand, the value or the prices will go down, and that's what we saw happen there. But now we don't have that kind of vacancy at this point relative to what we had in 2006 and 7. And then this other chart I think is very fascinating here. Record low inventory. You can see we were at a peak in inventory going back to 1983, just about. There's another crash back in the early 80s. But you can see we had a lot of inventory back here in 2007. We don't have that now. This is 2020, and you can see it's at the lowest point at least since 83. You can see, and everyone knows that's the case, certainly if you're in the real estate market at all. So these are some of the reasons that I don't think we're going to see a drop in prices from an inventory, from a construction perspective. As you know, the cost to build homes has gone up. That's going to also, so new houses are more, which elevates the prices of existing homes. But also from a lending perspective, I want to provide my insight there. I was doing loans back in 2006 and 7, and there was that company called Countrywide that had a loan program called the Fast and Easy. And basically, if you had good credit, it was fast and easy to get a loan. And I think what we all learned, I was not at Countrywide at the time, but what we all learned, I think, from that is that was also the fastest and easiest way to a housing crash, is to give anybody that wants a loan a loan. And from a lending perspective, we're not doing that anymore. Everybody has to actually qualify for these home loans. We are documenting their income and their assets ad nauseum. If you have been through the mortgage process recently, you know it's not fast, it's not easy. It's just not. It's like a financial colonoscopy. It's that invasive. So we are only giving loans to people that really can afford them. So that's another very significant difference between now and 2005 and 6 in the lead up to that housing crash. So I don't think there's a housing bubble either. I don't agree with everything Dave Ramsey says all the time, but I'm 100% with him on this. I hope this video helps you, and if I can help you, please let me know. My phone number is 850-678-4663. That's 850-678-HOME. I'd love to talk to you. Or your customers if you're a real estate agent. Thank you. Bye-bye.